Okay, so today you're going to work on the background. Finish that. Start the house in the back with the window. So for this, I'm going to start with Naples yellow and ultramarine violet. That purple, soft purple is going to soften or mute, make my yellow a little bit less vibrant. Okay, and it's great for background. So I'm going to do this. I'm using a flat brush. It's easier for me for this. And this is in the back, so really it doesn't have to be perfect. Right, again. And in this part, there's a tree overlapping. Yeah. There's kind of greenery in here. So this is a soft yellow. And because we're adding ultramarine violet, it makes it even more muted. Okay, now on this side, I'm going to do the same. Put some yellow. I know we're going to put green in here, but if I'm just thinking a bit ahead. If I don't want the green to be too heavy, this spreading the yellow in the background with more ultramarine violet in it will make a really good background for the greenery. Okay, don't have to go all the way, just a bit. There we go. Good. Perfect. Great. Okay, now let's do same, maybe more yellow, less of ultramarine violet, more yellow in here. And I'm going to put the same here. I'm going to do the same thing. But this one is a little bit more, because it's closer. It's a little bit more yellower. So what I do is I always push my background, if I have a tree that's going to be over the wall, and I know that the tree, you know, is the tree line is going to be here, I push my yellow in a bit, the wall color in a bit. So this way, when I put the tree in, I don't have a gap of the color of the wall. Nice. Okay, let's add more of the ultramarine violet with this. We can change the color for the bottom part. We can use a bit of yellow ochre with this. A little bit of yellow ochre if you want. You don't have to for the bottom part. Touch. It would just makes the bottom part a little bit darker. If you want, you don't really have to. It doesn't make a big difference, but you know, just darker. There. I'm just mixing my yellow ochre with a bit of ultramarine violet. And I'm going to come here. Yeah, let's mix it. And here. And all of that bottom part. Okay. Now, while it's kind of wet, I have a bit of white in here. It's not important, really. It doesn't have to be done this way, but I'm just going to show you. I'm going to mix white with my yellow ochre. I'm going to mix white. And I'm just going to add a little bit of detail in here. And just leave it. Honestly, just leave it like that. Okay, good. All right, I'm going to pause for a minute and then we'll continue. Okay, so for this part of the wall, the stone part, I'm using titanium buff, and I think I used cerulean blue and a bit of ultramarine violet. So this gives me that kind of, again, muted kind of blue, grayish blue for this part. And we're going to use the same for the window frame. Same thing. we can decide later on if we want to put more detail on this little part here or not, to make it look like stone. It's not really important. This is just the background. We have to keep reminding ourselves this is the background. The focal point is not here. Okay, clean up my brush a bit. Let's do this part. And I'm going to extend it to here underneath the window. And the frame of the window extend it. I have enough of this blue, gray blue mixed. Oh, I think it's a bit crooked. Now I can make this, if I want, a little bit more defined, meaning that I could put a masking tape here and then just make this line straight, or I could just leave it like that. Usually what I do is I turn it around and I do this. Let's do the window. I'm going to take more of the cerulean blue, put it in my gray color. And, oh, geez. Okay, let's add it here. This is what I do. I'm going to put that cerulean blue, more cerulean blue in here for the window pane. And then after, when I put this, if I find that the color maybe the window needs a bit of more detail, a bit more highlights, then I'll do that. Okay, I think that's a bit too big, this brush. I'll get a smaller brush. It's big too. That's not bad. I should have done the window pane first. I should know that because window pane and then the frame comes over. Well, that's okay. All right, let's go back. Gray again, and I'm going to take a tiny bit of titanium buff now into my bluish gray that I had before. So I'm highlighting a little bit more, and let's give this a tiny bit, a bit of detail. You can move the painting down. Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right. Thanks. And now if I want a stronger highlight, I can add white, but I don't want that. I'll keep it simple. And again, it doesn't really have to be detailed. Just a hint of a window in there is enough. Now for this, if I want to do the stone part, I need to darken my color. So I'm taking cerulean blue but this dark color shouldn't be too dark. So cerulean blue and ultramarine violet. Then I can do this, simple. Actually, this is a little bit too strong. Let's make it lighter, adding titanium buff. Ah, that's good. It's a hint. Or we could just leave it. I'm just showing you a different choice. I'm just making these lines less, strong. They're too strong. I'm just making them softer, just to push them back. Clean up a bit. Now at this point, we can highlight the window a little bit more if we want, or just leave it just the way it is. We can come back to it after. Now,
Was that the inside a window was cerulean and panes, right?
cerulean blue and ultramarine violet.
Oh, okay.
I always like to adjust once I have the rest of the you know, the trees and the greens, and then I go back to the background and adjust if I want to, because sometimes when you put those greens and you put the trees and you find that you can hardly see the window, it doesn't matter anymore. So I don't like to spend too much time at that point before I add everything. So let's do the trees now. I'm going to stop for a minute so we can do some touching up, and then I'll continue. Okay, so we're going to work on the green. I have sap green, yellow ochre, cadmium yellow light, and a bit of black. I'm going to take, and I put a masking tape right here so I don't have to worry about ruining the, going over the wall. I'm going to take a bit of sap green. It has a bit of black in it. Doesn't matter what black you have, just a bit. And I'm going to come here. And just with the corner of my brush. All the way down. Okay, same on the other side. So the other side, I'm not going to put too much. I'm not going to put any black, but I'll put yellow ochre in here. And I'm going to do this part. There's a lot more sun here. And go down to, let's say, just make sure it doesn't look like a, you know, a straight line. And I'm going to take yellow, cadmium yellow light. I might need to use a bit of white after, but we'll see, with the yellow. So yellow and green and a bit of white. Just to give that strong kind of light, sunny part. I'm gonna come here, and this is very heavy right now, so I'm just gonna add a bit of, let's add green and yellow ochre. It's just too heavy on this side. Especially the edge. Right here where it meets, where it overlaps with the wall. The wall is light, so it's nice to have a soft edge. Okay, let it dry, and I'll come back to it. Meanwhile, I'm gonna come to this side. I don't need this anymore. It's created so much depth, really looks good. So mine starts right here, the tree. So this tree is dark only here and then lighter up here. So I can do this. I can take sap green, put a bit of black in it, just a bit, not much. Come over here. Right behind, right here, I'm going to do this because I don't want a harsh edge again. There's green behind this too, dark green in here. So I'm going to take it all the way down. And I can highlight this. Okay, we can put people over this part. So I'm not worried about this. I can put people, or I can make this, highlight this and make it more like greenery only without anything else. So I can play around with that. Okay, I'll take more and just that's why I like to work on black. When you work on black, you don't have to go, you don't have to do this stage. You just straight into medium tones and highlights. Again, I'm not worried about the wall because I can always adjust all of this once I'm ready to paint the wall. Right. Bring this up. This tree goes all the way up to here. Okay, now the tree is lighter on this side, the left side. So I'm going to start adding yellow. And I don't want it to be too highlighted yet. So it's going to be like a medium tone because I have to keep in mind that there's another highlight that's going to come over. So I'm just going to go in and the corner of my brush. Just go a little bit darker, just a tiny bit, so I can have room to highlight over this. If it's too light, then I don't have room to highlight. I'm missing a top part of the tree. Yeah, I know. It just, yeah, top part. Yeah, it ends here. It's not exactly the same like in the picture, but that's good enough. I like the cascading kind of beautiful leaves on this tree. I think it's a willow, isn't it? Willow tree, maybe?
Like it, yes.
Right? Okay, now I need a bit of, this is, I'm using now dry brush, but I'm gonna wet my brush a bit. So this is more like base for the details that we're going to put on top, because this is really a nice tree. It's a more like a focal point. All right, now I'm going to come here and slowly, actually, I'm going to wet my brush a bit. Take a medium tone, not a highlight yet, medium. From underneath the where the black cat is. One more thing here. I'm going to come over and I'm going to start highlighting a bit over this. So I'm kind of dabbing with the bright brush I have. Put some water so we can get a good brush stroke. So the more I go into this corner, which is really dark, right here, the softer the detail is, you know, not as harsh, as strong, you know, the value is darker here. Because I want to keep this dark right there. So now I have a medium and dark right there. I'm going to take I'm still using the same brush. I'm going to highlight a little bit with yellow, cadmium yellow light into my green. Before I change brushes. I'm going to layer my highlights to create that beautiful texture. I'm going to change my brush. Use around. Put a lot of yellow in my green. And even if I have to use white after, I'll do that, but that will be the last kind of stage. Let's see. On top. Now with this highlight, it's going to change a bit. The shape is going to change a bit. So I'm not doing straight anymore, and I'll show you in a minute. I'm going to do more like a curved. You'll see in a minute what I mean. This is a curve. Some of them are curved and some of them are just straight. So I'm doing this little detail, these details mostly with the strong highlight, but I'm going to switch into the medium tone and do those details as well. So you see this is right now is really like highlighted. It's a lot of yellow in here, but it's not going to be like that over the whole tree. Okay, let's go back to the medium tone a bit. I was taking my sap green and add a yellow in it. Oh, I like this. This is nice. Okay, good. All right, let's see. Okay. So I want to highlight this part, but I don't want it to be highlighted too much because I want to leave room for a lot more highlights. Okay, this is good. I find that this tree is an important tree in the painting. It makes a big difference. One of the highlights of this painting or this reference. I get to this part, which is really dark, and I'm gonna give it so now when I add the strong highlight, it's not going to look like I'm jumping from dark to light. And it's really kind of a big difference in values and contrast. I like a detail in here. I'm going to put it back because I lost it. I'm going to put it back. And it's kind of in between here. There's a dark part that shapes the front part of the tree. There. I like this. Let's go back to the medium tone and just kind of add a couple here because I find it's just a bit flat, this part. And tiny bit right there. Medium tone, not too dark, not too light, because I don't want to lose the depth. If I put too much in here, highlight, I lose the depth. This is a beautiful depth in here. Yeah, let's put a bit here. We'll put a hint. Now, can take again, cadmium yellow light. By the time we're done, we're gonna have a really beautiful, beautiful tree. And this is one of the parts of this reference where you want to spend some time on, you know, getting some detail. All right, make sure that I don't lose my depth again, because it's very easy to lose that beautiful depth. Okay, now I'm going to take yellow, just yellow. Try to add this yellow without white and see how it goes. Just yellow, tip of my brush. Over the cat right here, I can see a couple of beautiful strong yellow behind it. See this highlight, these highlights shape the tree. Again, tip of my brush, some yellow dots here and there, but in a specific, they're random, but at the same time, they're not random. And by the time it's dry, if I find that this cadmium yellow light is not enough and I need to highlight it more, I'll add white to it. Not white by itself, white with cadmium yellow light. But this strong yellow is going to give me that beautiful, interesting, sunny part. Okay, from where the cat is here, I don't see a lot of highlights. Up here, maybe a little bit more. Up here, for sure. I can see up here, couple. Down here. Now here, where the green sign is, I'm gonna go like this. want to clean up the edge of this tree. If there's anything that needs to be cleaned. Okay. All right, I think we're good for now. Okay, so this is where we're at this time. We finished the background, kind of. It needs just a couple of little details. And put the people in the background here, add another person maybe next week, and finish the tree. And we'll move to this part next week. Right.